Beautiful shot.
Okay,
Right, you
here
get
we
to
go.
ask me a question. You potted.
Okay, let me get this question right.
Yeah,
It's got to be
sure.
a good question. When you were in the Yo Sushi days,
Yeah.
very early days, when you were probably crapping yourself because you put every penny into the project, what did you do to center yourself? Did you go out? Did you drink a lot? What did you
Well,
do?
I certainly didn't go out, and I certainly didn't drink a lot. And all I did for that 2 years was work. And you know, the more I put good things together, the more I was able to go out and see people and talk about things and look at sites, and just the more applied I was, the more comfortable I was. And then there were sleepless nights. You know, when you get something in your brain, you can't get rid of it. And then there were moments of terror that it's all going to go wrong. But I'd had small businesses before, I'd been in difficult situations before, I'd been a climber. So when things were getting freaky, I was able to calm myself down. And I was able to go, look, if it all goes wrong, I'll be okay. I'm still going to carry on eating. I'll still be nice to people, mostly. And you know, the key is not to panic. You know, we were talking earlier about hang gliding actually, and you know, or climbing or anything like that, or diving. And the one thing you've got to learn to do is not to panic, because if you don't panic, things are probably going to work out okay. And I think it's the same in business. You know, don't panic.
What was the other thing that you were mentioning? To not stress about the stress that you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, stress is okay. It's okay to have stress. It's quite good. You know, it gets things done. But what you don't want to do is worry about stressing.
Okay.
So don't stress about stressing, or however you say that. So stress is okay, but worry about stress is not so great.
Okay. And one other question, which I've.
Go on.
This is a really euphoric question.
Euphoric question, huh?
Tell me how you felt when you went to the ATM. I know it's in the first page of your books, and the first page of his book.
Yeah.
That's all I've read. How did it feel when you saw that balance?
Well, when I see some money in my account, yeah. I mean, the line I wrote in the book, I'm not going to tell it to you because you'll do it. There's a good line in the book about it. But relief, really. Relief is the truth. Yeah, because it's, you know, you build these businesses and they're a pack of cards. You know, something can go wrong, and you see lots of them go out of business. I always say if Woolworths can go out of business, so can anybody. You know, we always thought they were here forever. But yeah, relief to have a bit of money in the bank. And yeah, felt good. But you know, the next day you get up and there's 100 different things coming at you.
And that was yesterday.
And exactly, yeah. Then you just carry on. Right, my turn. Your turn. Do you know? I was playing a game similar to this, Buzz, with a guy I know who just, you know, he makes you look shy. This guy can talk for the world. You know, he never stops. This guy, and he always. Very unlike you, because you're interested in other people, but this particular guy is always talking about himself. Do you know people like that who always talk about themselves?
No, I know one or two, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I said, you know, Adam, why don't we play a game? We were driving the car. I said, I'll ask you a question, and then you ask me a question, and we've got 1 minute to answer it, and then it'll kind of go backwards and forwards. I didn't sort of make him wrong. He said, okay, yeah, fine. I said, well, and I asked him a question first, and so he talked for a minute, a bit longer actually. And then I said, okay, no, wait, it's your turn now. You ask me a question. So I said, you get the idea? So off you go. Silence. And after about 30 seconds, he said, I can't think of one to ask you. And I was very compassionate towards him. I really did, because he hadn't practiced his whole life asking people about themselves and trying to draw interesting things out of them. He had always somehow got the message that you talked about yourself. And I think that is where that disease comes from. What do you think?
That's very interesting, actually. Obviously, we've both met multiple characters like that, and sometimes Yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating because you can't get a word in edgeways.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, when I'm interviewing people, it's never about me. It's always about the
Yeah,
person.
well,
I'm
that you
interviewing.
learn that, yeah.
Yeah, and people don't want to hear about me. They want to hear about the person I'm interviewing because they're far more interesting.
Yeah.
They're up
Yeah.
the totem pole much higher, and that's why I'm there in front of them. And you know, it's one of my greatest privileges to be able to interview people such as your good self.
Well, thank you
Read
very
One,
much.
create a magazine.
No, well, I agree. I mean, I've got a few heroes, like that, not least of which is Jonathan Russ or indeed Graham Norton.
Oh, really?
But well, only because they are. I mean, Jonathan Ross is very, very good because he's really interested in people and he makes it all about them. But he's able to bring himself into it, so he engages.
I'm with you on
And
that.
Graham Norton the same. He's just a very generous host. He's so interested and charming to bring things out. He never talks about himself, but it's about him, obviously. So I learned a lot from watching those people. Learned a lot, not making notes and trying to remember to do that, but just watching enough so that you instinctively do that.
Pick up the sort of style pointers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And little tricks like, you know, tell me more. Tell me more is very good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, thanks, Buzz. That's great. Thank you so much.
Mate, thank you so much.
Yeah.